Hello world, how's it going? I hope you guys are all doing well. If not, as always, I hope it gets better for you. Now, many of you guys know I have a lot of fish rooms and fish tanks in this house, and I wanted to do a fish room tour for you guys. I wasn't sure how I was going to do it, whether I was going to make it into a full tour, like try to do it all in one video, but I think that would just be hours and it would be too long. Or maybe I should do a mashup, but also thought I'd end up doing it in a series, so I'm going to try that out. Do this in a series, so I'm going to cover each section in a series and kind of walk you through each section or each fish room. And yeah, what's in it? Alright, so the first section, this is the main fish room. This is actually where it all started. I moved into this house with 14 tanks. They're all around the fish room here. And it ended up growing out into this, which it just kind of became MTS, out of control. Needed another tank for this, needed another tank for that. These are actually the first two stands I ever built. Totally over-engineered them, way crazy on them. That's like a 2x6. Then underneath it, it's like by 2, by even more. Like totally way over-engineered that. But you know, I'll never have to worry about those breaking down on me, because I did do carpentry work at some point, and I got crazy with it. But I actually did add these add-ons, so this is actually an add-on onto those racks, because originally I was going to have like cutouts on this, that way I could put planters in there, which I thought was a cool idea. I never actually did it, but I wanted a tank in the middle, and then I wanted planters on the side. That way I could grow vegetables or herbs on each side. Actually, it would be cool to do that as a project. I wish I had more space for project tanks. But I think that would be cool to still do. But yeah, I just added it up onto that. Boom, boom. This rack was built as one. This was kind of like my learning area of building racks. This one wasn't built that well, so I had to add some security into it. But it's actually 2 different racks, so it's kind of sitting on top of each other just like the other one. As you can see there's no screws, but it's actually got a long metal bar that goes all the way down, probably all the way down to here, in all 4 legs that keeps that up. It's a little different. But yeah, okay, so let's cover these. So this is what I call my small big wall. It houses mostly tins up top, 5 gallon down there. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's around 60 gallons. I got that for the aquascaping contest at Aquatic Experience. We got a 20 gallon high, 29 gallon. Over here we got a rack of 340s, so I call this my 3x40. And then you gotta have the hoses for the siphoning. Big hose for quick water changes, small hoses for detailing. Then here we got the big wall, 10 gallons up here, 75 gallon, 40 gallon, 40 gallon, 14 gallon. And then I got my 5x20. These are 20 longs. I got 5 of those. So those are the racks. We got the closet. Of course, you got to have a fish closet. This, I hardly even use any of this anymore. Like, I hardly even get into this thing. So I'm probably going to revamp this and minimalize a little bit where I can. And so let's start with what's in these tanks, and we'll start with the small wall here. So in here, oh, also this is where I keep my bucket, so I pump and dump the water into that bucket, then that goes into my sump that's in my utility room. Well, one of the hardest parts about filming in a fish room is lighting, so hopefully with the flashlight this may help. But we do.
Good night, Dad.
Good night, buddy. I love you. Hey, can I have a hug? Now I do also have extra braces on these stands just to kind of, in case you bump into them, you're not going to have to worry about them wiggling or anything crazy. So you know, coming around these corners, sometimes you take them a little tight, bam, that's a common spot for that. So I do have that pinned into the studs to help from that happening. And then I do have these. I don't think these are screwed in together, but they're so tight I don't think it matters. Then some of my other ones, like this rack, is tied into that rack, so it's all one continuous rack. Alright, so this should help. Fish room tours, that glare, I mean, you can't really see anything. I could bring it up like this, but you guys aren't going to see much. With this, you can kind of see them a little more. These are actually a tank of blue coals from my Blue Dream line over the years. They actually have some of the wildest genetics, and where my purple shrimp started originating from. There's a real cool guy. Of course he's gonna hide. There's a triple striped red Riley. Got a blue. Well, we got an amber. Nice blue red Riley. Or really. We used to always say Riley, but now people just started saying really, so I don't know. There's a wild type in there. Nice fire red. Pilo moss. This tank's actually pretty wild because of the pilo moss. As you see here, the light straddles right across it, and the moss is actually growing away from the light there. You can see it's actually growing up and against this glass here, which is really wild that is the direction it decided to take, away from the light. A little factoid on that one. And these deli cups, those are to help the air from splattering everywhere, the water and whatnot. Now, there are a few air pumps that do still work in here. Some better than others. As you see, that one's running, that one's not. There's not even one in there. I don't think that one's not even running. But there's not much for filtration in here at all. Like that one's running, barely. Not running. Alright, on to the next tank. We've got bronze crypt, subwasser tank, some rocks, a little scape there. But these are really cool. These are what I've been calling Volcano Guppies. Now these came from the ALA that was in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I believe that's where it was. I can't remember. Alright, had to look that one up. It was in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The ALA 2018. There's a fish store up there around that area called Pruce's Pets. I believe it's in Michigan. And he actually created these, I believe. They have some amazing color on them. Even the females. You can see here the female. It's got some amazing color on her. There's the males. Then over here we have some Cali Rum rainbow fish, some young ones. Now you can see how old this tank is with the red algae. You know you got age in a tank when you have this red algae growing. This stuff has gone crazy in here. I actually believe this is my oldest tank in the fish room. This was the second tank I got before I got back into the aquariums. So this was before this house. You can see the rainbows are still kind of small, not a lot of color on them yet. We got some Physidum fontaneus, Hydrocotyle tripartia. And over here is a line that I've kind of been working on myself. I pulled these from Scarlet Endlers. And I don't know if they have tiger blood in them or not. I can't remember. I think I just may have pulled them from the No, they do got tiger in their blood. So yeah, they do have tiger in their blood. And then a scarlet red. So they actually were originated from this tank here. As you can see, some of them are mixed in there. But we'll get to that tank. Then we've also got Rotala Colorado in there. And not much more else. They haven't really been breeding much, but you see the ratio there. Way too many males. Not much for females, so I don't know, they'll probably get redone. I've got a lot of like projects like that I need to reset. This is a terrarium I've had for a really long time. Made it from my backyard. Threw some Bacopa in there. I think it may be close to, I don't know how old, maybe 3 years, close to it. I have to check. It's actually really neat. It looks like some Bacopa escaped there. That's pretty wild. How it managed to escape there. I probably shouldn't have done that. I should clean this up, update you guys on that. Then in here we have some wild black bar endlers with some pearlweed. So your classic wild black bar. I don't know why they've been breeding slow, but they have. I got kind of a tiny one there. It's good to have bottom coverage and top coverage with your endlers and guppies. Then in here, same thing, wild black bar endlers. You can see way down in the middle, there's a male, there's a female up close. So that's all Pilomoss with a little bit of Bacopa, some driftwood. That thing is thick. Alright, so that's for that top row. And we've got the Aqua Neat lights up there. And this is how I get my water into the tanks, is with those. And I have like some mesh, stainless steel mesh. That helps disperse the water when it hits. Then down here, we have, let me go get my reflection thing. Alright, that should help. Let's see. Alright, well that helps a little bit. Now in here we have some crystal red Caridina shrimp, Nuvius, some Pelia. There's actually pearlweed in here too. Nice rock pile. There's actually a bunch of black worms in here. The Caridinas haven't been doing much as far as breeding lately. I just don't think the water's acidic enough for them anymore. Then I think the black worms compete a little bit with food. You can kind of see them up here. They got manzanita, other stuff to eat on. But in here is where that scarlet endler pair came from, or group came from, I should say. Put rainbow tigers endlers, rainbow tiger endlers in there with the scarlet reds, and then I started getting some really cool stuff from them. And I was trying to line it out more, but I don't get much breeding out of them. Oh, that guy's cool. They're so hungry. Wow, the purple on that rainbow tiger in there, or pink. That's in the middle of that guy. Beautiful. And then we got Taiwan lily, we got pearlweed. It's really cool when the Taiwan lily grows up and out. It's actually real rubbery feeling. As you can see on the bottom, there's not much going on there. Then over here, there's nothing in here. Did have some yellows in here. They bred for a little while and then just kind of slowed down. But they're also grain mutations, so I don't know. But we got Taiwan lily in there, buches, subwasser tank. Now I do have some of the Brightwell in there, so it does have some acidity to it. I don't think that's too much of an issue with the Neocaridinas. Sometimes I actually use this tank too to breed the Luminatus, the pseudomugal type fish, either the Rutus. I actually used to switch between these two all the time, between my pseudomugal rainbow fish. But now I've been trying to get these staic endlers going, so I put a group of them in here. We got a bunch of Pilo moss in there. As you can see, I have notes from what I wanted it to be a while back, but it never ends up that way because I either got to find space for them or figure something else out just to stay up with things. Because I do still go check by check, because you don't make a whole lot of money doing this, especially when you're more of a hobbyist than a business. But I do have a website, LRBAquatics.com, and these stickers are actually empty tanks, letting me know that I can use those tanks. So same issue with this one over here. We got a nice Nuri Crip mutated Rose Maiden in there. Subwasser tank, Taiwan Lily. This is an old thermometer I used to use. They only read Celsius, but I thought they were cool back in the day. Rhetia, nice floater. Then over here I have some kind of blue double sword Endler. I don't know why they're all hiding. Because I was over here and they just weren't used to it. Oh, now they're getting curious. Like food. Absolutely beautiful fish. We got a bronze crypt there, some Bacopa. Looks like, nope, that's all fish. Oh, there is a Buche back there. And then Rhetia, more Rhetia, and Rhetia, and more Rhetia. Then down here we have the Nuri Rosa Maiden again, the Pilo Moss. And these are my Black Moscow Blue Star Muppy. So it's like an Endler and a Guppy mix. And they actually started holding out. And they look pretty good. A little different, but I think they're kind of cool. Or no, maybe they're Rainbow Tiger. Yeah, okay, they're Rainbow Tiger Endler blood, not Blue Star. Sorry, I forget what I do half the time. There's always so much going on. Red Tiger Endlers in here. Absolutely beautiful fish. I actually picked these up in St. Louis at the Maasai Swap. Or no, it was an auction one time. Thought they were pretty rare. Real hard to get them going. Like when I first had them, they were breeding like crazy. Now I get some every once in a while, but they like to eat on them. Here we got the double sword. This is an albino double sword Endler. This is the Aquascape tank I had from the Fluval from AE. It's looking a lot rougher now. I left this in my back of the SUV for like 2 weeks with just something over the top of it, so the corkscrew valve never really did bounce back from that. I do get some growth, but it looks like it's so short. I'm constantly battling green water in here because it's just embedded into the substrate. So it pops up like 4 days after you do a water change. That one could use some help, for sure. But it's really hard to just focus on one tank when you got so many other tanks to focus on too. You gotta pick what you do. And over here we have, this is actually a 16 gallon. It's a rare size tank. This is a red Wapanga laser, the Melanitania rubavitata. It's kind of like dwarf neon rainbow fish, but more going on inside of them. We got pearlweed, we got pilo moss. Then in here, we have more of the double sword endlers. If I can get it to focus, there we go. We got Val. We've got a bronze crypt. We got some Wasser Tang, more bronze crypt, more pearlweed floating above. These double swordtails are absolutely beautiful. There's like a regular version, and then there's like a albino too. And they were mixed when I got them, so I just kind of let them do their thing. You never know what the colors are will come out on these things. You can see some of them get really long. Really cool fish. Also one of my older tanks, as you see with the red algae there. So there's the bottom and the middle and pretty much that whole rack. As you see, I got nets underneath or above the lights for the tanks, different tanks. And then my power strips hidden underneath here. Everything else like that. Alright, let's move from that rack to this rack. We have the 3x40. We'll guess we'll start from the top and work our way down. So we have Luigia arcuata. It's a hybrid species of plant. Then we also had the Rotala colorata here. And then this is a yellow shrimp tank, golden back is what I'm mostly trying to line, since golden back lines do not breed true. There's quite a bit in there, but they're all hidden. So you have some of different sizes. They're slowly bouncing back. I got a nice rock pile back there. Oh, see, they're all up in here. But they blend in so well with the leaves there. That tank's always done pretty well for me. And then this is the one for the red and blue sapphire Dumbos, which some are Dumbos, some aren't. I don't know why they breed out like that, just how they do. But I'm just glad to even have these fish. It was so hard to get a good strain from import to actually take. Took multiple attempts to do so. But look at that fish. Absolute beauty. Then we got more of the Nuri crip at the bottom there. Lots of that. I actually should put that on the website, because I know a lot of you guys like that. Nubius, little Rotalia, little driftwood, rock pile. This actually used to be a Blue Dream shrimp tank way back in the day. This is where the original colony started. Then it took like all these tanks to break it out. Then finally it moved into there, then into the other one that I was able to just really line it out really well. And I do still move them around. I'm probably going to do that here soon. And here we have another yellow shrimp tank. We've got, I believe, can't remember what moss this is actually. I'm thinking it's peacock moss. But as you can see, there's a yellow Caridina shrimp. We have some thread leaf Java fern in there, like living underneath like hardly any light. Tons of pearlweed. As you guys can't tell, pearlweed's one of my favorite plants. Does have a little reishi in there too. But lots of place for shrimp to hide, that's for sure. Hard telling how many's in there too, especially with these big things of pearlweed. Alright, so there's the 3x40 and onto the big wall. So I guess we will just start our way from the top again and work our way down. So this one is X'd out because I had something in it a long time ago. I wasn't sure what it was. Never went back to it. I was just like, nope, not gonna touch it. So big X on that one. I think with my paranoia and what I've learned, I'm not as scared of that tank, but I think I will redo it all together before I do, if I do something with it. And in here is a colony of blue star endlers, and looks like one of my female guppies jumped in there too. I think that's one of the Dalmatian like guppies, the AOCs. She was in there, but they jump between back and forth. I actually got 2 other colonies of the blue stars. She's pretty. So if they do blend, then I don't know, something cool will come out of it. I'm not too scared about that happening. I don't believe there's anything in here. There may be a couple baby Pseudomugil luminatus. Oh, and then there, pearlweed. There may be some baby luminatus in there. There is some hornwort floating. We got some bacopa going. And we got more of the devil's sword endlers. These look more towards the albino, but I know they're not. I think it's just the lighting. Then more hornwort. For some reason the hornwort's not really taking off in these. Maybe the lack of oxygen possibly for the hornwort. I think it may like the oxygen. Even though down here I do have a tank full of hornwort, no oxygen. I don't know. But next to it, I have some dwarf neon rainbow fish, some babies, hydrocotyle triparda, subwasser tang. There are rock piles back there, always great for fish and shrimp. A little driftwood, some blue guppies. I think these came from the IFGA in St. Louis last year. And then here, oh, this is actually red metallic crip. I forgot I put that in there, and it's doing pretty well. That was a long time ago. More hydrocotyle. This has the rice fish in it, but there's also a baby Lamontii, Epilotes lamontii up there, killifish. Then in here, I'm not sure. Oh, there is still a fish. So those are Procatopus similis babies. So I did get the Procatopus similis to breed out. Kind of a rare fish, kind of like a combo between a killie and a rainbow fish in my opinion. Full of guppy grass. And then down here we have Rotala Rotundifolia just growing absolutely crazy out of the top here. Just kind of created a marsh. We got the 75 gallon. That's still in there. I don't really use it. But we have Amorai rainbow fish in here. See if I can focus on these guys. Oh, those are all females. Are these Amorai? No, those can't be the Amorai. I think they may be because of the female. That's just the female. Yeah, the male is the one with more of the patterning, but he's back there. Then more Volcano Guppies, because I do want to release these at some point, but I wanted to make sure I had stock for you guys for when I do. I don't know. Those should only be Amorai, because I do have them marked. So yeah, that's got to be right. But you can't see him. This is like one of the first generations I bred out of them too, from having them. And there's actually a huge bristle nose down there. You can see his tail. This whole tank needs to be redone for sure. I need to redo this tank too. This is actually a bunch of guppy grass. And we got pilot moss growing. Little reishi got in there somehow. And then a ton of different shrimp. Oh, there we can see them now. Maybe if it'd focus. There we go. Nice big scriddle colony. Lots of babies, lots of shrimp. I want to blind them all. A lot of orange and red I'm seeing. Some subwasser tang down there too. Then down here, focus camera. Oh, it doesn't even know how to handle all this. Too much. Hold on. All I had to do was hit the stop record button and it fixed itself. But hey, we're back. Pearlweed. Actually, no, this is Monte Carlo. In here. It's another floating plant, a lot like pearlweed. Then we got Heuteroi, Crip, and then we have some Petite Anubias, and then more scriddles, shrimp. Actually don't see a lot of shrimp in here right now. I think most live up in the Monte Carlo. There's one back there. Many snail mates, Physidum Fontaneus back there. And lots of glare. Lots and lots of glare. There we go. Then over here, I actually can't even use this dehumidifier because it pulls too much amperage. Really sucks. I gotta get that fixed too. Nice to have toilet paper rolls just for things. Quick cleanups if you don't want to use a full towel. Then here we have a 14-gallon with some rainbow fish in it. Unidentified because I don't remember what they are. Angustifolia. But they are all of the same type. I have to wait till they get bigger to figure it out. It's the only bad thing about that. But you guys will see why it's easy to forget this stuff after you see how many tanks and things I've been working with. And then under here we have Scarlet Red line. That was like the original line that I had of them. They're actually looking really, really good. The light went out on me a long time ago. They don't seem to mind. The moss has just turned into some kind of like algae mess. But it really doesn't look that bad. I provide some food for them. Lots of babies in here. So lots of breeding since there's no light. Hey fish. Hey fishy, fishy. Then up here we have more staic endlers. And a ton of hornwort. Where are these staic endlers? I'm kind of hiding. I don't know what's going on. Really cool endler, absolutely gorgeous. I get this spotting on them. On the top view of that, just completely full of hornwort. A little bit of reishi in there. Yeah, so hard to get to focus on them guys. Then we have the lime green endlers here. Getting decent focus. A lot like the wild black bar endler, but a lot more green within its body. I've seen some of these go pretty much almost full green. Of course, the more you work the line, the more green you'll get out of it. And it's just full of guppy grass. And the fish are everywhere. They're even like way back there in the corner. They're all over the place. And then here we got the Panda Guppies. Another absolutely beautiful, stunning strain of guppies. These guys are legit. Females have this big thumb dorsal fin, and so do the males. They are fast. Pearlweed, but it's slowly dying off because there's not a lot of light left This lake kind of is losing its juice. And in here we have Geisen type of guppy. It's a guppy that has long fins. These are the babies to them. I have a female black pastel that gave a ton of birth to all these fry, and now they're in there. A lot of pearlweed. There's a bunch of fry in there. So there's that. 5x20, the big wall. There's the main fish room. Of course, you got the net strainers. Those are good for leaf debris and whatnot, even though we hardly even use those because just not enough time to do this stuff properly. Quick overview of the closet. Actually use a tackle box for a lot of like miscellaneous pieces, good for that. Sewn threads, stuff like that, filter pieces, CO2 stuff, or airline stuff, which I don't hardly even use any of that anymore. TDS meters, check valves, just extra odds and ends, random foods and stuff, jars that I use or have used throughout time. Power heads, graveyard, since I don't really use those much anymore. Gotta have rocks back there. Marbles, because I've done the whole marble substrate, all that stuff before. Wasn't a fan of that. And then buckets, tubs, other things. And yeah, airline CO2. Also, when you have tanks this tall, it's good to have a ladder, a step ladder or something for sure. Alright, so there you go. Quick kind of run through of this fish room. It's one of many. I believe 7 or so. So I'll have more out for you guys on the rest of the fish rooms, going through them and showing you guys what's in here. A lot of this stuff's actually going to change here soon as far as what's in there, what's going on in the fish room. I'm even thinking about maybe getting rid of some racks and building other stuff. So yeah, stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't, if you're interested in all this stuff and how to keep fish and just enjoy this kind of thing. And hit the like if you liked it and all that. And yeah, stay tuned. Until next time, everybody. Peace. Have a great one.